We reserve a few minutes Sunday morning to suggest news or trends that seem to be predicted by our literal futurist reading of the Bible. We're always careful to use recognized, reliable sources for our news. There's too much sensationalism surrounding Bible prophecy, which renders it moot to many people. We don't want to add to that. We're not saying that the things we report are the definite fulfillment of prophecy, only that when you read your Bible and see what's happening in the world, you'd expect exactly what you see. Bible futurists have long understood that in the last days and going into the Great Tribulation, there would be a global system of personal identification. It involves what the Apostle John described as a mark on the head or on the hand. It sounds like what we call biometrics. Biometrics is physical or behavioral human characteristics that can be used to digitally identify a person to grant access to systems, devices, or data. 3.5 years into the Great Tribulation, the man the Revelation calls the beast is going to demand everyone swear allegiance to him, demand worship, as it were. Since everyone is identified and linked to that system, refusal will mean being cut off from participating in society. You won't even be able to buy or sell anything. It's like you don't exist because there will be no other currency. COVID-19 is not one of the pestilences we read about in the Bible. Those happen in the tribulation. We are not in the tribulation. There have been many pestilences throughout history, and we always try to tie them to Bible prophecy. That's a sensationalism we don't need. So COVID-19 is not a judgment from God. It's not a pestilence of the last days. It is par for the course in a fallen world, sadly. If it has a sinister, satanic, spiritual purpose, it is this. It is pushing the world population towards a global digital biometric system. It's the kind of system futurists have been predicting since the Apostle John wrote the Revelation, and which has seemed to be incredible up until modern technology, and even more incredible that everyone would join. But listen to this quote. Apple and Google turned heads a few days ago when they announced a joint effort to bolster this public health service, a task known as contact tracing, by building software into smartphones that relies on Bluetooth technology to track users' proximity to one another. Facebook is participating in a similar effort led by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And so they're going to download to your smartphone or through Facebook this background app that lets them know who you are in proximity with, where you are all the time. Other countries are using electronic bracelets to track users' movements, or even automated systems that classify citizens' health status to determine whether they should be isolated or allowed entry to public places. Here's a quote. The Kingdom of Bahrain is keeping track of its active cases of COVID-19 via electronic bracelets. Launched earlier this week, the wristbands, which are compatible with the country's coronavirus contact tracing app called Be Aware, have been designed to alert a government monitoring station of any suspicious activity. Affected individuals wearing the bracelet must be connected to the app at all times via Bluetooth, with GPS enabled to track movement, ensuring that they do not leave their location. Those self-isolating will be asked to set their location, most likely their place of residence, and made to remain in that location until cleared. So you'll be self-isolating by force because they will keep you there. You know, all the dystopian future movies with surveillance, they always can see you everywhere and track all of your movements. And that's exactly what is happening now with this coronavirus. Meanwhile, Ministry of Health officials may randomly send picture requests to which self-isolating individuals must respond with a photo that clearly shows their face and bracelet. And so you're isolating at home, stuck in your house. All of a sudden you get a text, one of those annoying texts that comes through, and it says, send a picture right now of yourself and your bracelet. And if not, I guess they come after you. An alert is also sent to the monitoring station if the wearer moves further than 15 meters away from their phone. We have these already. They're ankle bracelets for criminals, right? Here's what our friends in, as Trump would say, China are doing. Haven't you heard him say that? China. He calls China, China. He calls this the China virus. As China encourages people to return to work despite the coronavirus outbreak, it has begun a bold mass experiment in using data to regulate citizens' lives by requiring them to use software on their smartphones that dictates whether they should be quarantined or allowed into subways, malls, and other public spaces. People in China sign up through Ant's popular, it's ANT, that's their system, Ant's popular wallet app Alipay, and are assigned a color code, green, yellow, or red, that indicates their health status. The system is already in use in 200 cities and is being rolled out nationwide. A human rights advocate said, the coronavirus outbreak is proving to be one of those landmarks in the history of the spread of mass surveillance. Now, we could return to normal as if COVID-19 never happened. A lot of people are joking that this will happen the day after the election, but who knows? This could be the new normal. And it may be the precursor to the dreaded mark of the beast midway through the 7-year tribulation. Now, I always like to point out that technology itself is not the mark of the beast. And no one who is in the tribulation is going to inadvertently take this and be lost and doomed to hell forever, because there will be warnings, and it will be clear that you are deciding for the Antichrist and against Jesus Christ. And so we need not be afraid of technology. But you see how invasive technology is becoming, and it is setting up the world of the tribulation, where all of this is in place for things to unfold. Now, we believe the resurrection and rapture of the church is imminent. It could happen at any moment. Nothing needs to happen before Jesus returns for us. He's going to come in the clouds and raise the dead believers of the church age. He'll transform the bodies of living believers into glorified resurrection bodies. He'll catch us all together into heaven to be safe during the Great Tribulation on the earth. Are you ready for the rapture? If not, get ready and stay ready and keep looking up, because, ready or not, Jesus is coming.